Hello everybody and welcome to chapter 36 of the book of Shemot as we continue to travel through Tanach. Chapter 36 has 38 verses and it starts in the Koren Sachs Chumash on page 616 and 617. This chapter marks the transition from planning to action. The Mishkan is no longer a set of instructions given on Mount Sinai. Now the people begin building. Yet the chapter opens with an unexpected problem. The nation gives too much. Perhaps for the first and only time in Jewish history, a fundraising campaign has to be stopped because there is already more than enough. There's a very important lesson to learn here about our approach to generosity, because we often speak about the virtue of giving, but here we learn another virtue, knowing when enough is enough. The goal of the campaign is not endless accumulation. Once the goal is met, the collection ends, and perhaps this gives us an insight into the Torah's vision that it's not about constant acquisition, but about purposeful contribution. And so the remainder of the chapter will describe the construction of the Mishkan curtains, the goat hair coverings, the outer coverings, the wooden beams, the parochet, which is the inner curtain, as well as the entrance screen. And by the end of the chapter, we will see that the physical shape of the Mishkan is starting to emerge. With that introduction in mind, let us turn to chapter 36, Verse 1. V'asa v'tzalel v'aholiav, B'tzalel and Aholiav will do, v'chol ish chacham leiv, as well as all the skilled people, every wise-hearted man, asher nosan Adonai chachma, to whom Hashem has given wisdom, usvuna bahema, and insight to them, ladas, to know, la'asos es kol meleches avodas hakodesh, to know how to do all the work that was necessary for the service of the sanctuary. L'chol asher tziva Adonai, everything that Hashem had commanded. Verse 2, Vayikra Moshe el B'tzalel ve'el Aholiav. Moshe summoned B'tzalel and Aholiav, ve'el kol ish chacham leiv, and to all of the skilled craftsmen, all those who are wise of heart, asher nasan Adonai chachma b'libo, to whom Hashem had given expertise, kol asher nasa'o libo, all who were inspired to dedicate themselves, lekarva el hamlacha la'asososa, to approach the work, to do it. And our rabbis point out that this phrase, Chacham Leiv, is repeated throughout these chapters. Chacham Leiv would literally translate as wise-hearted, but we often interpret it as meaning skilled. And that's because within this work there is a strong connection between the intelligence that is required to have a particular creative skill and the emotion with which one does their work. And the people who are being called upon here to work for the construction of the Mishkan are not just people who can do the work, but for whom their dedication and their hearts are motivated for the right reasons. Verse 3, Vayikchu melifnei Moshe, and they took from Moshe es kol truma, all of the donations, all of the gifts, asher hiviu b'nei Yisrael, that the Israelites had brought, limleches avodas hakodesh la'asososa, had brought for the work of the sanctuary. V'heim heviu elav odna davar baboker, and the people kept bringing additional gifts every morning. Verse 4, Vayavo kol hachachamim, and all the wise people came, ha'osim es kol meleches hakodesh, the ones who were doing this holy work, ish mimlachto, each of them from the work that they were engaged with, asher hema osim, that they were doing. Verse 5, Vayomer el Moshe lemo, and they said to Moshe, saying, Marbim ha'am lehavi, the people are bringing more than enough, midei ha'avoda lamlacha, that is needed for this work, asher tziva Adonai la'asososa, that Hashem has commanded us to do. Verse 6, Vayitzav Moshe ordered, Vayaviru kol b'machaneh lemo, that there should be an announcement made throughout the camp, ish v'isha Al yasu od melacha lisrumas hakodesh. Let no man or woman make anything more as an offering for the sanctuary. Vaikalei ha'am mehavi. So the people brought no more. Verse 7. V'hamlacha haisa dayam l'chol hamlacha la'asososa. For what they already had was more than enough for all the work that was to be done. V'hoseh, and there was extra. Verse 8. Now the work begins. Vayasu kol chacham leiv ba'osei hamlacha. The wise-hearted among those doing the work, Es HaMishkan, made the Mishkan. Eser Yirios, 10 curtains, Sheish Mashzar, of fine linen, Uscheles, and of turquoise wool, V'argaman, purple wool, V'salas Shani, and scarlet wool, Kruvim maseh choshev asa osam, with a woven design of kruvim on these curtains. Verse 9, Orech hayiriyah ha'achas, the length of these curtains, shmoneh ve'esrim ba'ama, were 28 amos, v'rochav arba ba'ama hayiriyah ha'achas, and the width of each of these curtains was 4 amos, midah achas l'chol hariyos, the same measure for all the curtains. Verse 10, Vaychaberes chamesh hayirios achas el achas, he attached 5 curtains to one another, v'chamesh yirios chibar achas el achas, and attached another 5 curtains to each other. Verse 11, Vayas lulaos techeles asfas hayiriyah ha'achas, he made loops of turquoise wool on the edge of a single curtain, mikatsa b'machbares, at the end of one set, keinasa b'sfas hayiriyah hakitzona b'machbares hashenis, so he did at the edge of the outermost curtain on the second set. Verse 12, Chamishim lulaos asa b'yiriyah ha'achas, he made 50 loops on the one curtain, v'chamishim lulaos asa b'ktzei hayiriyah asher b'machberes hashenis, and he made 50 loops at the end of the curtain that was on the second set, makbilos halulaos achas el echas, the loops corresponding to one another. Verse 13, Vayas chamishim karsei zahav, he made 50 gold clasps, Vaychaber as hayirios achas el echas bakrasim, and he attached the curtains to one another with the clasps, Vayhi hamishkan echad, so that the Mishkan was all of one piece. Verse 14, Vayas yirios izim la'ohel al Mishkan, he made sheets of goat's hair for a tent over the Mishkan, ashtei esrei yirios asa osam, there were 11 such sheets, such curtains. Verse 15, Orech hayiriyah ha'achas shloshim ba'amah, the length of each curtain was 30 amos, v'arba amos rachav hayiriyah ha'echas, and the width of each curtain was 4 amos, midah achas la'ashtei esrei yirios, the same measure for all 11 curtains. Verse 16, Vaychaber es chamesh hayirios levad, he attached 5 curtains separately, verse sheish hayirios levad, and 6 curtains separately. Verse 17, Vayas lulaos chamishim al sfas hayiriyah hakitzona b'machbares, he made 50 loops on the edge of the outermost curtain of the set, v'chamishim lulaos asa al sfas hayiriyah hachoveres hashenis, and he made 50 loops on the edge of the curtain of the second set. Verse 18, Vayas karsei nechoshes chamishim, he made 50 clasps of copper, l'chaber es ha'ohel l'hiyos echad, to join the tent together into a single piece. Verse 19, Vayas michsei la'ohel, and he made a cover for the tent, oros elim ma'adamim, of red-dyed ram skins, u'michsei oros techashim milamala, with a covering of tachash skins, a kind of leather, above those. Verse 20, Vayas es hakrashim la mishkan, then he made the planks for the Mishkan, atzei shitim omdim, made out of acacia wood, which was standing upright. Verse 21, Eser amos orech hakaresh, each plank was 10 amos long, va'ama v'chetzi ha'ama rochav hakeresh ha'echad, and each plank was an amma and a half wide. Verse 22, Shtei yados lakeresh ha'echad, each plank had 2 tenons, which we explained previously were these protrusions at the bottom of each plank, which would plug in to the sockets that would connect these beams together. Meshulavos achas el achas, parallel to one another. Keinasa l'chol karshei hamishkan, all the Mishkan's planks were made in this way. Verse 23, Vayases hakrashim la Mishkan, he made the planks for the Mishkan, esrim krashim lifas negev teimana, 20 planks for the south side. Verse 24, Va'arbaim adnei chesef asa tachas esrim hakrashim, he made 40 silver sockets under these 20 planks. Shnei adanim tachas hakeresh ha'echad lishtei dosav, 2 sockets under one plank for its 2 tenons, for its 2 protrusions. Ushnei adanim tachas hakeresh ha'echad lishtei dosav, and 2 sockets under the next plank for its 2 tenons. Verse 25, Uletzela hamishkan hashenis lifas tzafon, and for the second wall of the Mishkan on the north side, asa esrim krashim, he made 20 planks. Verse 26, V'arbaim adnehem kasef, and 40 silver sockets, Shnei adanim tachas hakeresh ha'echad, 2 sockets under one plank, under one pillar, V'shnei adanim tachas hakeresh ha'echad, and 2 silver sockets under the next one. Verse 27, Ulu Yakaseh HaMishkan Yama, and for the rear of the Mishkan, on the west side, Asa Shisha Krashim, he made 6 planks. Verse 28, Ushne Krashim Asa LeMiktsa'os HaMishkan Bayar Chasayim, he made 2 planks for each of the rear corners of the Mishkan. Verse 29, V'hayu so'amim milmata, they were even at the bottom, V'yachtav yihiyu samim el rosho el hatabas ha'echas, and they were joined at the top by a ring. Kein asa lishnehem lishnei hamiktsa'os, this was so for the other corner also. Verse 30, V'hayu shmona krashim, there were 8 planks, V'adnehem kesef shisha asar adanim, and 16 silver sockets, Shnei adanim tachas hakeresh ha'echad, with 2 sockets under each plank. Verse 31, Vayas brichei atzei shitim, he made bars of acacia wood, Chamisha lekarshe tzela hamishkan ha'echas, 5 for the planks of one side of the Mishkan. Verse 32, V'chamisha brichim lekarshe tzela hamishkan hashenis, and 5 bars for the planks of the second side. V'chamisha brichim lekarshe hamishkan layar chasayim yama, and 5 bars for the planks of the Mishkan at the back on the west side. Verse 33, Vayas esabriach hatichon, he made the middle bar, livroach besoch hakrashim min hakatzeh el hakatzeh, he made it extend within these planks, connecting them all together from one end to the other. Verse 34, Ve'es hakrashim tzipah zahav, he covered the planks with gold. Ve'es tabosam asa zahav, batim labrichim, and he made their rings out of gold as housings for the bars. Vaitzafes abrachim tzahav, and he covered the bars with gold as well. Verse 35, Vayas es apareches, he made the pareches, the partition, the curtain, tzecheles, out of turquoise wool, vargaman, out of purple wool, v'selas shani, and scarlet wool, v'sheish mashzar, and fine linen, all of which were twisted into fabrics. Maseh choshev asa osa kruvim, and he made it with a woven design of kruvim, of these cherubs. Verse 36, Vayas la arba amudei shitim, and he made 4 pillars of acacia wood, Vaitzapein zahav, and covered them with gold, Vavehem zahav, and their hooks were made of gold, Vaitzok lahem arba adnei chasef, and he cast for them 4 sockets of silver. Verse 37, Vayas masach lepesach ha'ohel, and he made an embroidered screen for the entrance of the tent, tcheles, out of turquoise-coloured wool, vargaman, and purple wool, v'solas shani, and scarlet wool, v'sheish mashzar, and finely spun linen, masei rokem, they were the work of an embroiderer. And finally, verse 38, ve'es amudav chamisha, it had 5 pillars, ve'es vavehem, with their hooks, v'tzipa roshehem, v'chashukeihem zahav, and he plated their tops and their bands with gold, v'adnehem chamisha nachoshes, and there were 5 copper sockets for these pillars as well. And that brings us to the end of chapter 36. In chapter 37, we will read about the construction of the ark, and the cover, and the golden table, and the golden menorah, and the incense altar as well. I look forward to learning that chapter with you. In the meantime, have a wonderful and meaningful day.